Cheers. Clink. When something's not funny, we're gonna clink glasses. That deserves a clink. Sorry, it's truly bypassed. Cheers. Clink.
Welcome to the Drunk Pedal Show with Matt and Ira. I'm Matt, and this is Ira.
Welcome to the Drunk Pedal Show with Matt and Ira. I'm Ira, and that's Matt.
Doesn't sound as good. Doesn't rhyme because you could.
No, it doesn't.
You got to be like, that's Matt.
That's Matt.
I don't know.
I'm Ira.
And I don't know. It doesn't matter.
What's up, folks? How are you? Welcome to the Drunk Pedal Show, where we're not drunk yet. We are here to discuss the pairing of the Ibanez Tube Screamer Mini to Corona. Matt and I watch a lot of pedal shows, and this type of pedal show, we figure, is not your first choice of videos to learn about the Ibanez Tube Screamer Mini. And it's probably your 356th video that you've watched about this pedal. So we're kind of assuming that. So without further ado, this pedal looks like a little lime. You could just really probably put it right into a beautiful bottle of Corona and enjoy it that way.
Everyone knows that Corona is the fine Mexican beer that you have to put a lime in so you can drink it. You got to put a lime in that because it tastes like shit. And similarly,
the you got to have some sort of Tube Screamer on your board. It is zesty and refreshing. Kind of want to crack into one of these Coronas and get talking about this stuff.
Get going.
While Matt's busting into that beer, I started a thing last show to show you the other things the other videos aren't. I'm kind of interested in just what comes in the box, particularly on the lookout for stickers. Who doesn't like stickers? Come on.
I do not care for stickers. Well, because I never put them on anything, and so then like I'm always like, yeah, I'll hang on to this, and then I'm gonna put it on a. But I don't put stickers on my cases.
Why are they giving me a sticker?
And
Nobody
so
respects anything I put stickers on.
So it didn't take that long to open these beers, so we should probably start drinking.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Now
you'll notice we are not using actual lime because whatever, it's beer. You can just drink it. If you haven't been around since the 80s, like me, and I know, Ira, you've been around a while.
I've been around since the 80s.
Then you may not know that amps did not always have enough gain. In the 80s and even 90s, there were not that many amps that had a huge amount of gain, and so even when you had like a Marshall cranked to the gills, a lot of people would put another pedal in front of it. It's really meant to push the signal so that it'll push the tubes harder, right? That's why it's called a tube screamer. It's supposed to make your tubes scream. We're going to see how it sounds compared to a regular tube screamer, even though I do not have a regular tube screamer.
We got the Axe effects.
That's true. I can simulate one. Okay, now we should comment also that this may or may not appear to have some sort of active cloaking technology.
The floating pedal,
because
the floating invisible pedal.
It is, in fact, a green pedal in front of a green screen. So this may or may not appear to just be like a floating knob, but it is, in fact, a pedal, and we will plug it in once we drink some of these beers.
You can get a light amount of distortion from this, which is generally very favorable if you're doing light, bluesy, jazzy kind of music. This pedal does not club you over the head with gain in any sort of way. It's just a really, really gorgeous overdrive. I think it's by itself, it'll plausibly go to about AC/DC. But you could use this as a beautiful jazz fusion-y type of pedal, as well as the blues pedal that it's been used for forever.
Yeah.
As a rule of thumb, if you don't know what you're doing on a pedal, and if you start everything off at about 2 o'clock, usually pedals kind of shine. So this is no signal. And this is signal. If you want to play hard, you can, but it's nice and clean if you're playing nice and light. you know, and then when you dig in, excuse. So this is the Tube Screamer with all the positions at 2 o'clock. And that's a pretty pleasant sound. For me personally, I want to back it up just a little bit. The gain, back it up just a little bit. Yeah, it really doesn't need much help at all. It's just I have the tone and the level to 2 o'clock right now, and the gain at noon. Yeah. That's about what you want, man. It's like this pedal does not need a lot of help to sound good. It's
Okay, let me talk into the mic. All right, so I'm putting the Mark V 25 to 2C plus mode. All right, so play a little, and then I'll kick in the boost.
glasses clink, clink. The underside of the pedal, because I don't think anybody showed you that.
Get up the glare. Oh yeah, tells you where it's made in 3 languages.
The front side of your pedal, what the audience is going to see, when you're rocking with this on your board, we're going to make you glad you stopped by.
Cool. Any more secret sides to the pedal?
Yeah, absolutely.
All
One more. If you happen to be like a cockroach on the stage, and you're on the stage behind the guitar player, which would be you when you buy this pedal, you're gonna see this angle. You're gonna see that angle.
Looks pretty good from that angle.
You're gonna see that angle.
Looks pretty good.
And while you're rocking out with your Tube Screamer, yeah, you're not gonna get that anywhere but here.
For reasons you may or may not agree with.
When something's not funny, we're gonna clink glasses. Cheers. Yeah. All right. You can really make a clean sound super sparkly. Just regular. That's without anything. I love that. I genuinely love that. I think that's a very cool function of this pedal.
So the Tube Screamer in the Axe FX is a TS-808, but in a minute we can swap that out for the one we're using and see how it compares. The amp I'm using is an unmodded JCM 800. I cranked the gain, but the EQ is sort of in the middle. So we'll see how it sounds with and without the imaginary. So that's your Queensryche rhythm sound, kind of, more or less. But then you kick in the... Anyway, it totally sounds like a Tube Screamer.
No, that deserves a clink, man. Solid.
You can hear the Tube Screamer kind of really has this bite to it. And there's a distinct sound of a lot of 80s solos. Now here's the real one. I forgot the thing I was playing, so I played a bunch of other notes instead. And yeah, no, it sounds pretty Tube Screamer, you know? It's like you got... Try it just cranked, because I think a lot of people use it that way, because they're like, I need all the gain all the time.
Go for it.
So we got your... It's doing that on its own.
All right. That sounds so much more... It sounds more organic. I mean, I'm sure this is like the 355th video that tells you that it's small.
Okay, so... This is a normal tube... Oh, let me get my face off. This is a normal Tube Screamer. The mini one is smaller like that.
I'm a normal Tube Screamer.
Simulation.
I'm a normal
Tube Screamer.
I'm a Tube Screamer.
I'm a mini Tube Screamer. I'm a Tube Screamer? I'm a mini Tube Screamer.
I've only got room for one eye. If I'm a mini, I'm not fully... Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out with us. Is it true bypass? I'm sure it's like...
That's a good question. Is it true bypass?
It's like...
So the pedal... Okay, so here's the pedal. You hear that bypass? Pedal's off. But you hear how bypassed it is? It's truly bypassed.
It's true.
It's truly...
True.
Truly bypassed.
True. Yeah, it's true bypass. Yeah, that's truly bypassed.
Truly bypassed.
Truly bypassed. Brought to you by True Bypass and Corona Extra. No, the Ibanez Tube Screamer Mini. That is...
But also not brought to you by any of those things, just
Not
to be
at
clear.
all.
Please send money. Just sounds like the 80s.
She's always All right, just so everybody can do the math at home. I was born in 73, which I was 14 years old in 1987, and somewhere along about there, I was 14, 15, a freshman in high school, blah, blah, blah. I was a freshman in high school, and my cool bass player friend, he was like the size of my little finger. He was like so skinny, but had all this fluffy 80s beautiful fucking... You have good hair at 15, you know, whatever. And he comes up to me with a cassette tape of, hey, dude, you got to hear this band. They're amazing. And I'm like, oh, really? Who's that? Winger. And it was like, all right, man, all right, cool. And at the time, you got to remember, Winger was slamming back in the day. I am not going to crap talk.
Headed for a heartbreak?
Headed for a heartbreak that you can't
got
even fathom how good that was back in the day.
Beauty of Winger. They were the best and the worst at the same time.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead crushed them, and I saw like some documentary where they were like
Kip's mad about it or something.
Well, Reb Beach. I saw a documentary or I read an article. It doesn't matter. I don't know. But Reb Beach said that he was like mega rock star 1 minute, and then that little kid from the Beavis and Butthead show wore the Winger shirt, and they were just crushed the next. And I feel genuinely sorry.
Yeah, like, but no, because it's called the 90s.
He said no.
No, it's called the 90s, okay? The 90s were happening, okay? The 80s were over, the 90s were happening. Winger was a very 80s band. They weren't going to make the change
quintessentially.
Quintessentially.
Yeah, quintessentially 80s. Absolutely. Cheers. Bang. No, when did people stop singing like
The 90s.
Yeah, that was like.
Then they were like, you know what? I think we went too far. So they went the other way, and they're like,
Yeah.
we gotta smack it in your wank.
And then you couldn't understand anything anybody said.
Yeah.
Nobody.
You couldn't understand the 80s either.
Nobody.
It was all
Like Cornell, you could understand. Spoon Man, you got that. You got that. Like Cornell, you could kind of understand what he was singing. You know, Black Hole Sun. But you know, he was great. You could understand him. You could rely on Chris Cornell. God, rest in peace. Rest in peace.
He's the only guy from one of the few guys from the 90s I actually like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna practice playing my one-man rendition of 17 by Winger. With like a disclaimer at the beginning, like the song does not reflect my views. I just think it's funny and the riff is cool. The Winger Show now.
And now I'm more dad aged, and it's like 17. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed.
How old was Kip Winger when they performed that song?
Like maybe 25. I don't know. Or maybe 63 at the time.
Maybe 30.
I don't know. I have no
He
concept.
might have been 30.
Of
He probably wasn't much over, but
I don't know.
I mean, listen, whatever
No
it was,
clue.
it was not okay. It
No,
didn't make it all right.
Yeah, no, it was not
There's
all
a
right.
whole lot
Even
of-
at the time. Even at the time,
Yeah,
it was
there's a
like.
whole lot going on there.
So, in the interest of this being the 500th video you've watched on a Tube Screamer, it's getting hard to think of things that haven't been done. But I think we got one. It looks like a lime. We're gonna see if it tastes like a lime. And like Jimi Hendrix said, I'm about to sacrifice something that I love and is very beautiful to me. So I'm gonna hold up this fine bottle of Corona, and I'm gonna drop this Tube Screamer into the Corona, and we're gonna find out. All right, and we're gonna see what it tastes like. I don't taste it.
I taste Corona, unfortunately.
I don't know if that'll come off as stupid.
Just to
or
be
what.
clear that we're not support. Like, you know, we said a lot of nice things about Johnny Walker Black, but we are not sponsored by anybody, and so I feel free to say that Corona still tastes like shit after all these years.
Yeah, no,
And I mean, I don't think a lime would help it that much. Like, then you're just basically drinking lime juice, which is cool. Lime tastes good, but like,
I've drank so much Corona, and I'm gonna be Ford and Chevy. I mean, I'll be Chevy to his Ford. I dig Corona. I can't really. I've drank so much of it that I don't think I even think about whether it's good or bad. It was like
I'm just like, put this liquid in me, and then
This is what
have
we're
a good
doing.
time.
This is what we're doing because you can order it anywhere. Corona, you can order it.
That's true, but
You can order it if you care to.
but the irony of that statement is that Johnny Walker Black is available at most bars in New York City, at least, and so that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons it's my go-to. Is I'm like, well, good enough, and it's at most places, but also, or you could have a.
You're crushing it today, man.
Currently available for Skype lessons if you want to learn how to make horrible sounds. I mean, it is definitely functioning as a lime. It adds a little zing
Yeah.
to whatever you put it in front of. It adds a little zing to whatever you put it in front of. Whatever.
I had problems with the word zest, and I like your word zing
Zest.
better. It was like, yeah,
Zest is
there's
good.
something skeevy about the word zest. I don't know if you're not talking about the soap.
But we could play. I mean, we can always, you know, do it again.
Oh. more, like a little distortion on there. Two. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Talked about the looks and the size of it. I think we did it.
Talked about the size of it?
Talked about the... I'm trying to think anything we haven't... The size of your tube screamer.
Yeah,
What is
I know.
What is the size of your tube screamer?
How big is your tube screamer?
How big is your tube screamer? This is the only time it's good to have a small tube screamer.
I mean, if you have a little mini pedal board, which I do, but my pedals are all normal size on it. I mean, it's a small board, but the pedals are normal size.
Even maybe a little bigger than average.
Completely. I mean, well, yeah, but I'm not trying to brag about the size of my pedals. That it's the drunk one, and then we're gonna flash back.
Here we are. Yeah, here we are.
2 hours earlier.
Yeah. Well,
Meanwhile, in Gotham.
yeah.
All right. Welcome to the Drunk Pedal Show with Matt and Ira. I'm Matt, and this is Ira.
Welcome to the Drunk Pedal Show with Matt and Ira. I'm Ira, and that's Matt.
Doesn't sound as good. Doesn't rhyme because you could.
No, it doesn't.
You got to be like, that's Matt.
That's Matt.
Like, I don't know.
I'm Ira.
And I don't know. It doesn't matter. Mixed feelings about the monitor now. It's far away, so I can't really tell what's.
You want to check my hair again? Check. Check my hair.
Coronas. Yeah, you know, the Fender, so this is the Twin Reverb model, and
I didn't even say what guitar I'm playing through.
it's, I mean, it looks like a Strat.
We didn't say what guitars we're playing through.
I mean, all right, let's do that. I can edit it in.
Yeah.
Add to the back. I can edit it. Edit it. I am once again playing my comparison TAT Special, which TAT stands for through and through because it is a neck through guitar. And I also have a video specifically about this guitar that you can also check out on this channel if you subscribe.
Now, I am playing through an 87 Strat.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that was 87. Oh,
Yeah.
I love this kind of bridge because it doesn't cut your hand up.
Yeah, it's an 87 American Strat. Oh, I want to name drop. Can I name drop?
Drop away.
I'm just like, I'm terrible about the name.
Drop that name.
I've told myself I wasn't going to name drop today, but the body is 87 and the neck is 84, and this Strat was actually owned by Howard Leese of Heart. Yeah, and somehow an unnamed music store out in Las Vegas where I worked, and I had to trade in a crap ton of gear. It's my favorite Strat that I've ever owned. It is what the Relic Strats are trying to do. I got a chance to speak with Howard for just a minute in the Vegas store, and he said, "Oh yeah." I was like, "I think I have one of your guitars," and he stopped and he was like, "Oh yeah. I remember that guitar. It was like I have 3 guitars on tour with me. I have a Les Paul, a Telecaster, and a Strat, and the Strat is like kind of the third string guitar." But this guitar has been around the world many times, and it definitely feels like it, and it plays like it, and I love it very much. And seeing as how technically or whatever way, I only own like 3 guitars right now. I got a Les Paul, a Strat, and a Maxi Tele as of this moment, because you don't need a whole lot of stuff. You just need to like what you have.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I'm not going to name drop, and then I totally name drop.
Please name drop, because you understand. Totally, listen, when you drop a name, that means I can put it in the keywords. And then, like, well, I should watch more of these videos in case he drops more names.
These are just things that I've experienced in my life. And Matt and I work at said guitar store where, like I say, you don't have to be a genius to... You just stand in one place, and then famous people kind of come to your store, and I'll name drop one more time. Since we're all hanging out, I'll have a sip of beer
drop
with you.
it.
Yeah, Michael McKeon from.
Oh yeah.
It was David St. Hubbins.
David
St. Hubbins of Spinal Tap. It's hard for a guy like that to walk into a guitar store and people not know who he is. And the reason this story makes me look like kind of a dick is because David St. Hubbins walks into your guitar store and he wants to buy a capo, and he says, "Can I get a capo?" And I look up and it's Michael McKeon, and I know who it is, but I don't say anything to him. He has spoken to me and said, "Can I get a capo?" And even before I can say anything, he goes, like, "Don't do it, buddy. Don't do it." Shakes his head, mate. Don't make a thing. And so I look at him, and I just kind of go, like, "I'm not going to make a thing, sir." And it was a positive interaction. It was silent, but positive. Oh, man. Yeah. Still cool. It's still really cool meeting him, though. So, you know.
Final clink.
Clink.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and whatever else you're supposed to do.